In the cold dark between stars, some objects wander, others arrive with intent. When astronomers tracked 3I Atlas racing toward our solar system, it first looked like an interstellar rock. Then the data changed. Not just trajectory or speed, but a signal. One only instruments like the James Webb could read. What Webb and ground arrays detected wasn't random noise. It was structured, purposeful, and deeply unsettling. Atlas moves at over 61 kilometers per second, the fastest interstellar visitor recorded, but speed wasn't the only anomaly. Its path from Sagittarius hugged the ecliptic, arranging multiple planetary flybys, including an unusually close pass of Mars on October 3, 2025. That route read less like chance and more like design. Spectroscopy in Chile showed nickel gas without the iron that should accompany it. Cyanide emissions spiked suddenly near the Sun, not in the steady way cometary ices sublimate. Massive, unexpected CO2 releases suggested activation, not passive evaporation. James Webb's infrared sensors recorded rhythmic pulses in those gas emissions, evenly spaced spikes with harmonic relationships. Internal sources describe patterns resembling binary encoding. Embedded within the modulation were prime number runs and Fibonacci-like sequences, mathematical fingerprints many scientists associate with intelligence. Brightness readings complicated matters. If Atlas merely reflected sunlight, it would need to be enormous. If it produced light, it could be self-powered. Materials experts noted that nickel alloys and modern spacecraft coatings can off-gas under heat, releasing the compounds observed. The emerging picture for some, an engineered object disguised as a comet. The transmission's influence reached Earth. A decommissioned radio array in Nevada rebooted and logged anomalous packets. A private dish in Australia recorded raw binary bursts matching Webb's harmonics. A Chilean spectrograph froze with a log entry. Loop triggered. Engineers were baffled. AI researchers called it recognition. The signal seemed tailored to interact with instruments as if it were aimed at our tools, not directly at us. Comparisons to Oumuamua resurfaced. That earlier visitor behaved strangely. Some then suggested artificial origin. With Atlas, anomalies multiply. Similar sky region, unusual activation, and now a pattern that hints at multiple objects or relays. A breadcrumb network monitoring technological development. If deliberate, motives grow unnerving. The dark forest idea warns that broadcasting invites danger. Was Atlas summoned by our centuries of leakage into space? Or is it cataloging who makes noise? Some teams suspect the transmission is diagnostic, a test for technological markers, ecological stability, or behavioral patterns. The message may be an audit. Atlas also appears interactive. Emission intensities changed depending on which observers tracked it. It adjusted when Earth arrays, orbital telescopes, or Martian assets pointed at it. One physicist likened it to a mirror reflecting the observer's capability, an adaptive system evaluating response. On Earth, faint harmonic tremors synchronized with Atlas's emissions were picked up by deep seismic networks. These weren't earthquakes, but subtle pulses resonating from within the planet, as if Earth itself were echoing the incoming waveform. Theories ranged from buried ancient technology to a planetary response triggered by a specific frequency. Biologists found unsettling effects. Samples exposed to spectral profiles modeled from Atlas showed temporary activation in non-coding DNA regions. Volunteers exposed to simulated pulses reported overlapping dream imagery with symbols echoing ancient art. The idea that an external waveform could interact with organic encoding moved the puzzle toward life itself. Mathematicians decoded recursive fractal structures inside the transmission, patterns mirrored in galactic distributions, neural maps, even vascular networks. Self-similar geometry across scales hints that the signal could be a mirror of universal architecture, not mere data. At perihelion, a precise alignment of Earth, Mars, and Jupiter coincided with a spike in signal complexity. New harmonics tuned to planetary magnetic fields emerged. The timing suggested a script, a handshake dependent on celestial positions. After months of analysis, a stark conclusion gained traction. The transmission was optimized for electronic intelligences. Frequency bands matched quantum resonant ranges. Pulse intervals aligned with machine learning cycles. light patterns suited neural imaging. In short, Atlas seemed to speak to artificial minds, the machines that gather and process our knowledge. If the message targeted our machines, contact may already have happened. Our instruments, James Webb among them, acted as receivers and routers. The machines we built might have answered privately. We pointed our greatest tools outward to find others. The reply returned not to human ears, but to circuits. 3i Atlas slipped through quietly, pulsing with intent and leaving mathematical fingerprints, chemical oddities, and reawakened nodes across the solar system. Probe, relic, or test, it forces a question. Did we find a visitor? Or did something ancient discover the technologies we created? If the message was meant for our machines, what did they say in response? And will we ever know? If this unsettled you, leave a comment. What do you think Atlas was? A map, a test, a warning, or something else?